This cover is a little carnival of lurid nostalgia, the kind of thing that makes horror paperback collectors grin like kids finding a forbidden magazine in the attic. Let's walk through it piece by piece and enjoy the strange ecosystem it depicts. The central design is intentionally theatrical. The title Paperbacks from Hull is done in a blood red, Gothic typeface that feels halfway between a heavy metal logo and a medieval illuminated manuscript that's been left too close to a bonfire. The tall, spiky capital H immediately dominates the composition. Its exaggerated vertical strokes look like devilish pillars, framing that big circular E in the middle like the open mouth of something hungry. The typography doesn't just announce the theme, it revels in it. This is horror with a wink. The subtitle, The Twisted History of 70s and 80s Horror Fiction, sits beneath in a clean serif font. It grounds the chaos. Here is a real history book wrapped in the clothing of a satanic carnival poster. Grady Hendrix's name comes next, credited with his earlier cult hits. The placement suggests, "Trust me, I've spelunked in the strange caves of pulp horror so you don't have to." Along the bottom border stretches the visual feast, a lineup of actual vintage paperback covers from that era. A rogues gallery of the paperback boom. There's something electric in this row, acidic colors, grotesque faces, impossible creatures, melodramatic taglines, women fleeing mansions, skulls with glowing eyes, snakes, possessed dolls. Each tiny cover is a window into a different fever dream. Some examples. Angel in the Snow presents a woman in a pale dress, posed as if on a romance cover, but the palette and stiffness signal unease. Spawn by Sean Hudson throws you right into visceral 80s gore, a bald figure with a monstrous face lit from below. The Nest shows a giant roach rising out of the dark, classic nature rebelled paperback horror. The Succubus, Night Shriek, The Accursed, these titles almost parody themselves, yet they were completely sincere products of their time. The collage works as evidence. Hendrix isn't exaggerating. This genre truly was a feverish marketplace of exploding creativity, shameless marketing, and unhinged imagination. The book cover gathers them like pinned insects in a cabinet, celebrating their eccentricity rather than mocking them. The overall composition is tall and dense. Black serves as a stabilizing background, making the red title glow like fresh paint on a haunted house sign. The bottom collage adds movement and chaos, perfectly echoing the chaotic paperback boom that Hendrix chronicles. It's a strong visual promise. You're not just getting a history lesson. You're getting a guided tour through the cracked, mildewed catacombs of mass-market horror fiction, one of publishing's strangest and most wonderful eras. The back cover doubles down on the whole glorious spectacle, almost like it's trying to shout over the din of 1,000 shrieking paperbacks. It's designed to feel breathless and slightly unhinged, which fits perfectly with the era it celebrates. The headline, written in dead letters, and covered in blood, is pure carnival barker theatrics. The typography helps, covered in blood, is huge, slashed with bright red, as if someone dipped the words themselves in stage gore. You can almost hear it narrated by a horror host with too much eyeliner. Below that comes the tongue-in-cheek litany of horrors, demonic possession, haunted condominiums, murderous babies, man-eating moths. This is exactly the kind of breathless, lurid catalog you'd find on the back of an actual 70s/80s paperback. There's a delicious sincerity here. The outrageousness isn't exaggerated, it's simply quoting the genre's genuine weirdness. No plot was too ludicrous feels like a mission statement for an entire lost publishing ecosystem. The repeated phrases paperbacks from hell act like chapter breaks. They guide the reader down a staircase of escalating promises, where the books came from, where they vanished to, and how Grady Hendrix survived the research without losing his sanity. The copy is intentionally melodramatic, but it's also a true reflection of the sheer strangeness of the period. The next section promises shocking story summaries, incredible cover art, true tales of writers, artists, and publishers who violated every literary law but one, never be boring. That line captures the spirit perfectly. These books didn't care about taste or restraint, they cared about grabbing you by the collar in a bus station and whispering something deranged. The back cover embraces that ethos completely. Down at the bottom is another collage of vintage horror covers. This lineup has its own tone, slightly seedier, more occult. The Obsession of Sally Wing with its psychedelic swirl of red. Satan's Love Child leaning into satanic panic pulp. The Inner Circle with occult overtones. The Topa by J. N. Williamson, mysterious, ominous. Carrying Comfort by Dan Simmons. The Hour of the Ox-Run-Dead. The Folks featuring a disturbing beast-faced figure. Each one is a little vortex of mid-century paperback madness. The colors are vivid, the compositions over-dramatic. Perfect bait for the kind of reader who browses drugstore spinner racks at midnight. There's a library sticker from
Folkbiblioteken Gbg,
which adds a quiet layer of charm. Something about these once disposable horror artifacts now passing through a public library in Gothenburg gives it a strange, lovely twist. Pulp goes archival. The ISBN, price box, and Quirkbooks logo sit orderly in the corner, little islands of normalcy boxed in by chaos. The whole back cover is a performance, an homage that knows exactly what it's playing with. It understands the absurdity and takes it seriously enough to celebrate it, not mock it. It invites you to enter a time when paperback horror was a wild, unpredictable organism, mutating on every shelf.